Hi guys, welcome to another Frosta Friday. Today I bring to you a tiny little book haul. Okay, I hope this will be short and sweet. I've placed a book outlet order. They do have some pretty amazing discounts. The books are all surplus, so they have its dents and marks. I'll show you, but sometimes you just can't beat the price. And I saw a lot of books that I wanted that were at a good deal, so I got them. Without further ado, let's see what I have on this haul. The first book I have is The Chain by Adrian McKinty. Recently, I've read his newest book, The Island, and I really like the way he wrote. And with the assurance of some friends that this book is not as heartbreaking as I assumed it was, I decided to jump on the wagon and experience for myself. Basically, in it, we follow a mother whose child is kidnapped, and she gets a letter saying that if she doesn't kidnap someone else's child, her kid will be killed. You already know, right? Boom, 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 boom. Next, I have The Nanny by Gilly Macmillan. I have no idea what this book is about, and you're gonna see here with a theme of most of the books that I got on this one. These have been on my wish list forever, and recently I read two really good books that had either babysitters or nanny, and I'm mood reading books about mother's worst nightmares, I assume. So in this one we follow this woman. When she was a girl, she had this nanny that she really loved. One day the nanny disappeared without a trace. Boom, end of story. She's heartbroken, but they had to move on, right? Then 30 years later, her name is Jo, returns to her childhood home, and then a human skull is discovered on the lake behind their house, and that's all there is. I'll be honest, I got this book because of the title, so we'll see. Next, I have by Cassandra Cole a novella called Nothing But Blackened Teeth, because this cover, I've read it already. I loved it. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I really wanted this because of the cover alone. And I talk about it in a previous book, but it's basically a wedding party held with Japanese folklore. Let's leave it at that. The next, again, a book I know nothing about, but I was in the mood for. And like I said, you're gonna see a theme. I have The Babysitter by Cheryl Brown. In it, we follow Mark and Melissa. They hire Jade to be a babysitter. Their life is chaotic, so she's like this angel sent from heaven to help her. She has a grasp on everything. They rely on her more and more, especially after Melissa starts to dip into depression. But then Mark, who's a police officer, seems to think that not everything is as it seems. And then there's more to Jade than meet the eyes. And then he remembers where he knows her from. And that's what the synopsis leaves it at. Next, I have A Chorus Rise by Bethany C. Morrow. First of all, look at this cover. This is the second book in the Song Below Water trilogy. It is a YA fantasy. It has mermaids and magic. I don't want to talk a lot about this because to go into this implies slightly spoiling the first one, but I already read it. I really enjoyed it. I liked the first one better, but I wanted this because I have both, and this is the cover for the first one, they are just freaking gorgeous. And I love mer people. I love sirens. I love everything to do with the sea and the ocean. So yeah, I'll pick up anything that promises me that. Next, I have, again, I think it's the last book in the theme that I mentioned, The Au Pair by Emma Rue. I read The Perfect Guest by her. I really liked how fast and engrossing her narrative is. So I really wanted to read this one even before. This is a book that I was watching for a deal for the longest time, ever since I read The Perfect Guest. So The Au Pair, right? We have Seraphine. She has a twin brother. Here's what happened. The day that they were born, their mom committed suicide. Whoop! Threw herself off the cliff. And the au pair disappeared forever. They were babies. There's nothing really that they processed at the time. They knew about this from their dad growing up. They are now adults. Seraphine is our main character here. Her dad dies. So she goes back to their estate or his house and starts going through his belonging to sort things out, if, you know. Then she finds a picture of her mom. Her mom is sitting between her dad and her older brother. And on her lap, there's only just one baby. Doesn't that sound good? Okay, next, I have The Missing by C.L. Taylor. I love C.L. Taylor. I don't know what this book is about, but I keep watching for her book. Her books are so freaking hard to find here in Canada. So every time I see one of her books, I'll buy them. I love the way she writes, and I don't know anything about this one. Okay, so we follow the disappearance of a teenager, 15-year-old Billy. His mom and the whole family blame themselves. They do not know what is going on. They are still processing his disappearance. They just want to know closure, you know? And then 6 months later, after an appeal for information goes horribly wrong, that the truth begins to surface. Claire is sure of two things: that Billy is still alive and that her friends and family had nothing to do with his disappearance. A mother's instinct is never wrong, or is it? Sorry guys, usually I know I try not to read from the synopsis because that's something that anyone can. I try to talk about the book the way that I see it so you can feel my excitement and understand why. So I apologize for reading, but like I said, I know I'll enjoy it. Anything that is written by C.L. Taylor, I'll buy regardless of the synopsis, and I'll be talking about this after I read it. I have two more books that I don't think really require any explanation. You know, I am an early childhood educator, and I brought Chica Chica 1, 2, 3. I have never read it, but I know that children love Chica Chica Boom Boom, so I wanted to check this out and see if I can use in program. Last but not least, a book with no introduction needed, The Silence of the Lambs by Thomas Harris. I don't know how many times I watched the movie, but never read the book. So now I want to read his books and experience it for myself. All I hope is that I can read the book without picturing Anthony Hopkins or Jodie Foster. I don't know, or maybe I will, because they were so perfect. But I usually prefer reading the book before I watch the movie so I can form my own opinions. But the movie is iconic. In my opinion, is quite perfect. It's superb. So if I am biased and I kind of think about the movie while reading, I think in this instance won't be a bad thing. That's my mini haul. I hope you enjoyed it. I have quite a few things that I am excited for, that I have planned. I'm just having a hard time getting in the right mood, but hopefully I'll get to them soon. Thank you so much for being here and bearing with my chaotic uploading schedule. I really appreciate you. I hope you have a fantastic, wonderful weekend. And until next time, be the hummingbird.